Baddie Behavior. Baddie Behavior. Classic, wearing out and about. Obviously, this is a Baddie original.
Episode 2 of Baddie Behavior, the podcast. This is it. I recently learned what an ambivert is this past week, and I couldn't have been more heard. Oh, I always say I'm an extrovert, introvert, but I didn't know there was ambivert. Ambivert. I just pulled it up. Is someone who has a personality that has a mix of both introverted and extroverted traits. Introverted prefers to spend time alone. Extroverted prefers to be with other people. So this is what Google AI said. If you're introvert, extrovert, I think that's how you get your energy. You know, I am an extrovert. Yes, I love to be around people, talking and being there. But how I recharge is not with other people. I think also being a creative person, you have to be both in a way. If you are a creative person, you make this art and you make these things for you and all that, but the hard part is it to be seen and pushing it out there and getting it out there. And that is something that I know I have to do it. Still doesn't mean it's not hard. Ambiverts. Ambiverts. I'm just going to say A-M-B-I-V. How do I pronounce ambivert? Hold on, checking.
Ambivert.
Ambivert?
Ambivert.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like the B is like soft. Okay, this is the Cambridge Dictionary. UK.
Ambivert. Ambivert. Ambivert.
I kind of say it how the British people, ambivert. So I'm going to keep doing that. Regardless. Okay, some characteristics of ambiverts include being able to adjust their behavior to fit the situation in person. Okay. Read the room. To be honest, people can't read the room. And I've learned in the corporate world and real world, whoa, I kind of wish I had some of those characteristics sometimes. I'm so in tune with reading what's going on. I'm kind of jealous of people who can't read the room because they're just so in tune with what they're doing. They're really present. I know growing up who's going down the stairs based on the cadence, and some people don't know what I mean with that. So there's two types of people in that. Reading the room is also situational, and I don't know, I'm also an Aquarius. A lot of people can't read the room, and it's really apparent. But okay, knowing when to talk, when to listen, being up for a moment as long as they feel recharged. Yes. Oh my God, 100 times. I'm down to be impulsive if I'm feeling good. Needing solitude after a major hangout. Yes, I will give you the performance, the conversation, the energy, the smiles, the laughs, because that's what I like to do. But I need to be nonverbal. It's like a half-life. However long that hangout was, double it. And I won't answer my phone. So I'm sorry if you've been on the other end of that. Okay, but you know me. Letting texts and phone calls go unanswered when they're getting alone time. Okay, I can't read ahead. So that is okay. Wow. Oh, and then another word for ambivert is omnivert. I'm so smart. I knew it was something in between. This episode's about being an omnivert, ambivert, however you want to classify it. So that's who I am. And as a creative person, as someone who has my own business, there are traits that I need to relinquish more than others. So this one is about my process, creating clothing, creating lines. I have over 33 SKUs. So what does that mean? SKU. SKU. I know what it means. Oh my God. What does this SKU mean? Okay. Whoa. Okay. Stock keeping unit. Okay. I just knew SKU as the acronym. So when I'm designing, it's all about energy, and even recording and being on TikTok and being a personality, people can see right through the camera. People are not dense. People are really in tune with things. So there have been times where I've been posting on TikTok of having the worst time in my life, like physically, mentally, emotionally. And I'm still like making people laugh, but people can see through that sometimes. Inherently, humans are able to pick up on emotions and energy. Kind of all life is. We are all made up of particles. Everything's buzzing and moving. So it honestly, it makes sense. So as someone who's creative, as someone who's also a business owner, I need to straddle both worlds. I'm in Excel sheets doing my finances, talking to my tax guy, how much it takes to make an item, what my margins are going to be. And that's so different from Marjana, who is designing the outfits you see or making the videos. Each part of my brain does work in its own thing. I can't do multiple things at a time. It's one thing or the other. If anyone who says they can, more power to them. I don't believe that is real. And I think humans can't multitask. You can't do two great things at once. And I've learned that. So when I'm doing a task, it's hard for me, but every task I do is really important. I'll be washing a dishes and I'll be like, oh, I need to fill out my calendar on my whiteboard, and I will leave the dishes and then go do that. And I've been learning to work on using a calendar, and I write things down. Also, it's about creating an environment that works for you. So there's like a Dr. Seuss book that I read that was read to me when I was like 7. There's something about like elephants can't climb up a tree, or like I think it was a fish can't climb up a tree, but they can swim in a river. It basically said how everyone learns differently, so why are we forced to learn the same thing and like judge like tests and things? Horrible test taking, but I will rock it in a group project or whatever. So I had to be really diligent and figure out a real system that works for me. When I was designing Baddie stuff, when I didn't have anything, I didn't realize it because I didn't have any of my designs in the real world. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh my God. When I was designing my Baddie stuff prior to launch, I didn't have any of my items because it was just in my mind. And so I was just like creating, designing on InDesign. I would sketch out some things. I'm not like, I can draw some things, but like I'm really good at using my computer and making mock-ups for my mind. So I did that. And then once I got my items, whatever, that's a whole nother episode. But when I design a new collection and I already have things out, I realize I cannot wear any Baddie clothes, any of the old items I've made. And it made me feel weird. I was like wearing like one of my earlier t-shirts, and I was just sitting, and I'm like, and the energy from that was like clogging my brain. And I thought, I like ignored it for a little bit. I was like, oh my God, just sit down. Like, you had an idea, just like get it out there. I felt uncomfortable, and I was just like, you're being a baby, just draw the thing out. And I was just like, no, something in me is telling me I need to take off the shirt. And I felt bad because like I wanted to wear the clothes I made. I was like proud of it. I am proud of it. But I also was just like, no, I need it's a whole new vibe. It's a whole new collection, and it's a whole new energy. And if I want it to work with it, I do capsule collections. So like it does work, but like I wanted it to be its own thing. So I like didn't tell anyone this for a while. I just like stripped down like a wife beater and like sweat shorts, like gray ones. And I was just sitting there for hours. And immediately I put it on, I felt so much lighter, and I just pounded out my designs. It was so nice. And I was like, okay, I liked the way that felt. And it felt good. But then I felt guilty because I want to wear my clothes and do that. But I was like, no, like listen to yourself. It's a blank canvas. My mind and energy was clouded from the other things. And it made me want to fix the designs I had prior. You're always going to want to kind of just like tweak an item, but that's not where my energy lies. My energy, I did that. It's fine. And I wanted to make something new. So I've learned to kind of ride with that and listen to my intuition and my gut, because no matter how silly it kind of seemed at the time, I had to do it. And my designs were 10 times better because I was in my all white outfit. And that was a really big learning curve. And so wearing different hats, being able to tap into when I'm feeling a creative moment is really important. And also there's being inspired, and there's also pushing through the hump. And you will experience both things as a creative person, as a normal person in your real life. Doing this brand is my passion. I do love it. And it's like fun and interesting, but it's really hard. And there's days I don't want to do content. I don't want to design. I don't want to talk to my manufacturers. I don't want to look at my finances. I don't want to look at my margins and like what I need to be doing down the line. That's not fun. And part of me gets excited that I feel this way because it makes it more real. If it was just a hobby that I wasn't, I can draw sometimes, I can make this, blah, blah, when I feel like it. No, like life is working through those hard moments. And like playing Division I soccer, like I didn't want to go to practice all the time, but I love playing soccer. I love being on a team. And most of the days we were just like I had to count down my phone until I could retire. For anything that's worth it, it's going to be hard. And I'm good at this. I'm good at designing. I'm good at content, and it still can be difficult and challenging, but you feel better afterwards. So being inspired is not something I wait on. It's something I actively work on and notice. And for me anyway, I need to I'm super aware of what's going on around me. Like I said earlier, I'm hyper aware. I read the room. Reading the room is being able to see a situation or see people, and I can pick up on people's emotions, and I get really sensitive to that, and I get really emotional sometimes if I can feel someone having a bad day, or I can feel someone that wants to connect with someone. In school, it was really hard for me and my sister have this thing where we're just like, we just look at each other, where it's like we just like know inherently what they're going through, and it was really overwhelming, and like I want to fix it, and I want to be their friend, I want to be around them, I want people to feel seen. But also most of the time it's not my job. I'm hardcore, but I'm sensitive in a way that like I feel other people's emotions, energy a lot. And it's not just because I'm an Aquarius. Yeah, it's nurture versus nature. There's both. Like there's survival tactics you've had to do growing up, and like being on teams and being in intense environments. So it all helps me now. I think it's one of my superpowers. I don't get worried about making content. I can get inspired in a second. I see the world beautifully. I see the world through a lens that I don't know any different. My brain is on 24/7. I can see an idea, and my friends know this to a T. I will be, and they encourage me. They will be like, what do you need recorded? We'll be at a party or something, and I have an idea, and I will just get my phone out. I bring my headphones in my purse. I get my phone out. I record. They eat it up. They do a great job, and then I will stand in the corner and edit on my phone. I need like 5-10 minutes, and like I can't hear much, but I just do need to hear some of like where I need to start the song or beat or whatever. There's like videos of them like seeing me. They're like, give more 5 minutes and we'll be good. I'm so good at, I can edit with an audio, if not hear the audio, but kind of know what I'm doing. It doesn't take away from my life. Like my days are not centered around creating content. My content follows what I'm doing, and I think that's what kind of sets me apart, being able to do this 24/7. I will be making videos. If I had no followers, I would be making videos regardless. So, but yeah, if I get an idea, I capture it and I do it, and it's using that muscle. It's creating that muscle. It's also stepping outside your comfort zone of, yeah, I'm out in a public event and I'm going to be using my phone like this. I'm going to capture something and I'm going to talk to people. And that's what fascinates me. And I can do a whole production. That's literally what I'm good at, and people won't even know. They're like, how'd you do that whole video? I like to do, if I'm going out, my Instagram stories are more like, TikToks are kind of like what I'm doing in the day, but Instagram stories, I'm more random on that. I don't know, but like I'll be with my friends and like I'll be like, oh, we're at this place, blah blah blah, and they're like, how did you do that? I'm like, you wouldn't even know. Like even how I record, I set my phone up. I'm just doing what I normally do. So that's why I think I can go further. I'm passionate at only things I'm good at, but I don't see joy from doing things that I'm bad at. Learning something like a language or things, like I will be bad at that. And also I'm probably not enjoying that. Yeah, I wish I could play guitar. I wanted to. I try to play piano. I'm not good at that. I'm good at other things. Can I produce a song from scratch in GarageBand and actually it sound good? Yes. I think knowing what you're good at, if you're good at math and you have numbers, like you should be passionate about that. Like use that resource. I'm horrible at math. So I'm great at video editing. I'm good at making these clothes. I live life hard. I wear out my shoes. As you know, I break my ankles. I've torn my Achilles. I will stumble. I will get right back up. I bump into things. I would break crayons growing up, like just the way I gripped it. And my siblings be like, what the heck? I'm like, I live life hard. I would go to Ritzy, I go to things, and the stuff would just like wear out. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but the way I just I can't even sit without like wearing something out. So I was like, you know what? This is just not working for me. So when I create my clothing, it needs to be substantial. That's why it is priced the way it is. This is a luxury premium athleisure wear. This is thick. This is really good materials that I've sourced and also I've designed myself. I'm a one-person show, and you're paying and you're being part of the Baddie. You can't get this anywhere else. It's exclusive and it's trademarked. You can get a gray sweatshirt for $40, or you can get something that's customly built to how I live my life. I buy it or not, I'm going to wear this regardless because I want this in my wardrobe. I ventured off and I started a sweater and something that's a little bit less athleisure, and you can dress it with jeans and things. So I'm constantly pushing myself in the envelope, and I stand by what I'm making because I've come from nothing. I've gotten told that my prices are too high, that would like, oh, what is this? I don't care because I know what it takes to make high quality clothing and you don't. Have you started your brand? Are you putting in tens of thousands of dollars to produce this, to design it? The hours I spend designing, the hours I spend talking to my manufacturers, looking at the fabrics. It's in a warehouse, it's shipping, it's handling, there's branding, it's a whole thing. And so I only listen to people who have done what I want to do or are ahead of me. You have to have a thick skin when you're being a creative person, when you're starting your own business. And this is going to take a long time to build. I don't want it to be a one night over success. I want to keep learning. I love the process of things. And it's hard because when I create something, the process of it honestly is the most beautiful part for me. And it's me getting an idea with, if it's making a video, it's creating these clothes, it's something that's part of me. And the hard part is putting it out there for people to see, because it's that part's, it's done for me. But then the process is all over. But then those people get to enjoy what I just created. And being an entrepreneur, being a business person, being a creative is not something that I said I wanted to do. It's kind of whittled out of you. It's like a sculpture. It's there, but like you have to go through so many different, I at least had to go through so many different things to learn that, oh, this is what I need to do. I was in the corporate world for 8 years, 9 years at big companies, MTV, NBC, Global Citizen. I was at tech startup. I kind of had to be hit over the head like a million times being like, I cannot fit into this box. I cannot sit in this office all day. I couldn't do it. I felt trapped. Just living I did it because I wanted the stability. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Being your own business owner is not for everyone, and not everyone wants to do it. It's fine. I mean, I wish I was so happy working the corporate life. And I know people aren't like necessarily inherently happy doing the 9 to 5, but there's some people out there who feels like your body, I was crawling in my skin. I couldn't do it anymore. Getting laid off, tearing my Achilles, then getting a new job, then getting fired from that job because I didn't grow their TikTok fast enough. I needed to go through those steps because I've met so many great people who align with me on that trip. And now I'm able to use all of my resources from my grad school at Fordham, from my internships, my jobs and all that, and use it for myself. So I wouldn't change anything. You can't change anything. So there's no point in living in the past. Being in the moment is really something that I've had to also learn and use as a muscle. Being in media and being a Division I athlete and growing up, like you always had to look ahead, especially in media. We are planning weeks. I feel like I never was in the month I was in. We were like, okay, we're launching Jersey Shore April 17th, and like we're just planning things out, and it's just like that's how it's done. That's fine. But being an entrepreneur and being in business, I don't have a 5-year business plan. I think those are stupid, and I don't even know where I'm gonna be in 5 minutes. Something crazy could happen. A video could blow up. I could meet someone. I could create a different idea, go something else. Being an entrepreneur and starting my own business made me really lean into the moment, and I was uncomfortable with that because I would try to get ahead of things. Even in the corporate world, if you get ahead of it too much, you cut your nose to spite your face because people change their plans all the time. So I would do all this extra work and be like, oh, we're not doing that anymore. So I'm like, okay. But every day my brain is on 100%. It doesn't turn off. Being your own business entrepreneur, every moment, any step, every breath I take is what can I do to keep building Baddie Behavior, the label? What can I do to make my followers feel inspired or going after their dreams? Also, what can I do to keep learning and keep growing? I just started a retail job at Viore. I've never had a retail job before. It's part-time. I do need the extra money. Building a brand, the overhead expenses it's a lot. There's warehouse fees, fulfillment fees. I'm also always getting new products in. I'm also paying off old products. It's not just like, oh, here's a sale. Building a brand takes time. If I'm gonna be selling clothes to people, I want to know how to run a store. I want to also build my own store. I will build my own store. When Baddie Behavior catches on and people are really seeing what I'm doing, they're going to be like, oh, She knows what she's doing. I've never had a retail job, and I have my master's degree. I've worked corporate, and I am learning so much in this environment. It's physically taxing. I'm scrubbing floors. I'm vacuuming. I'm folding clothes. I don't do my own laundry because folding is so hard for me. It's something that, and I will always send my laundry away. I value my time over the 2 hours of that and that stress. I will just not do that. But I will fold at the store because I'm being paid and I'm learning new skill. I didn't know how to change a Bissell vacuum. What's it called? I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to close a ladder. Every day feels like I'm in kindergarten learning a really new skill. It took me 20 minutes to clean the vacuum cleaner, like undo that. And then my boss would be like, oh, just do this. I'm like, okay. All right. I had no idea. I rarely vacuumed growing up. My mom would do that. And also, I'm not saying we didn't really have many chores because we were training so hard. Like, I'm up at 5 a.m. and we're driving to the city, and like my mom's like, I will just make you dinner and do that. Like, we cleaned up after ourselves, but like also every place does something different. I want to keep learning new things, and also it keeps me creative. It keeps me, with the pulse of the people. If I'm just in my apartment all day doing my online business, which I can do, it takes a lot of time to do. So when I'm done with my shifts, I'm exhausted mentally, physically, and I talk to people all day, but I get a new perspective on what people are looking for. How are they coming into the store? How do they want to be dressed? And like, also I'm seeing what the quality of products are, and like, it's just such a great experience. I'm so grateful for it, but also I'm like really, really tired. I've learned my lower back. Like, I need to stretch more, but these are soft skills that you need. I would call these hard skills. Me sitting on a computer knowing how to write an email, awesome, great. But me knowing how to talk to someone and like gauge what they need. People just tell things at me when I'm working about their problems, what they need things for. And it's so important to be there physically. But yeah, it's something that I'm proud of myself for trying and doing that. Also, no one cares what you're doing. No one's judging you as much as you think. Honestly, it clicked when I was elementary school. So we were starting band, and I didn't have time to practice. I didn't really want to practice. I was good at it naturally. I could just hear and play, but I couldn't sight read. So when I was sight reading for our things, it was so stressful. Also, being an anxious child like I would always think about the world ending and then like dying, and it was really hard for me. My mom had cancer when I was young. It just like really was not like good. But the good thing that came from it, I still can't think about like the galaxy and all that stuff because that will just spiral me. Anyway, but the good thing is no one cares. Everyone's thinking about themselves. Like I realized when I was like doing presentation for school, when I was watching someone, I did not care. I was like, okay, like, when can I have my Pringles for lunch? I'm like, oh, I have soccer practice later. We need to work in the pep rally dance. Like, we are busy. So if I didn't find them embarrassing or make fun of them, why would someone think of that about me? And that has literally given me the freedom to do whatever I want for myself. It's my own permission slip that I've always had. So I've always had this part of me that's like, okay, and oh, you think that's embarrassing? Well, watch this. I don't care. Me working a retail job, okay. I have a master's degree, okay, but I never have done that in my life. And that's something that I think everyone should try. And most people probably have, but at 31, I'm the oldest person there. They're all like in college and they're working really hard, but I'm getting to know people that are doing different things, and it's helping me with my own business, my own brand, and also seeing how the world is done. I want to know if I have my own clothing store, I want to know what they're going through and where can I make it better. Undercover boss is so important. These people don't know what's going on. So don't care what people think. Read the room and like be a little more empathetic. You really don't know what people are going through. Like, this lady came into the store the other day and she was looking for directions to go to this different store. I don't know what it was. And we're not allowed to have our phones on the floor. So she didn't speak English that well. But I was like, okay, like, yeah, we're on Fifth Ave right now. If you keep going east, you'll get to where you need to be. And she was like, oh, okay. I'm like, do you have your phone? So I was like, she told me where she needed to go. And then she was like, so thankful. And then she was just like, oh, my son died like a few months ago. He's usually the one that helps me with this. I was so confused. And she said, thank you. And it was just like a moment. I was just like, wow. I was so glad I was working that day. And like, I know it's not about me, but like, I was glad I got to give her a good experience about people helping each other. Being in the store, I see so many different interactions and things that I normally wouldn't see, even in like a corporate environment. I don't know where this is going, but this is what I was talking about today. And you're a baddie. I'm an ambivert. I knew it was like something in between. So we both learned something today. Yeah. So listen to your gut. Nothing is that serious. If you're healthy, you have your family, your friends, you're okay. And if things do happen, you will deal with it. And running a business is the same thing. Most days are hard. Most days there's going to be losses, micro losses, but you'll get one moment where, oh, that worked, or that's going to work, or whatever. So keep going, baddies. The thing is, what else are we going to do in the meantime? Like, the time's going to pass, so might as well go after what you want. If it's a job, change your hair color, wear the outfit, work out. Like, we're already here. Might as well just do what you want to do. But yeah, so I'll see you next time. Bye, Baddie. Okay.